So what sets truly remarkable women apart is not just looks or success, it's their habits. Welcome to 8 Habits of High Value Women. This video is a video I've been wanting to do for such a long time because I feel and I know that it takes certain habits to become a high value woman or to be a high value woman. In today's dating landscape, being a high value woman is not just desirable, it's a must, it's essential. But the thing is, what does being a high value woman really mean? For me, being a high value woman is about cultivating qualities that makes you magnetic, gains you respect, and makes you feel truly fulfilled. Whether you want to solely navigate the dating world or you want to up-level yourself, these 8 habits are going to help you skyrocket to where you want to be and to being that high value woman. What we're going to do in this video is break down each habit and not only just tell you what they are, but show you how to incorporate them into your daily life. And the thing is, that's what we really need. It's not just about talking the talk, it's about walking the walk as well. From self-respect to boundary setting, from personal growth to authentic living, I have got you covered today. So let's get into this video. So the first habit is self-awareness. Self-awareness is like a superpower, believe me or not. For me, it's about understanding your worth, recognizing your strengths, and acknowledging your weaknesses. That's what self-awareness is, and I've been there. I've had to really dig deep into self-awareness and understand what it is and make it part of my journey. And self-awareness is being completely unapologetic about your needs and boundaries. Think about it, how can you expect others to respect you if you don't even respect yourself? So here you're asking, how do you cultivate self-awareness? And here are 3 strategies. The first strategy I'd say is journaling. Take time to write down your feelings, your thoughts, and your experiences. This helps you to understand your patterns in behaviour, and it helps you to see how you react to different situations. That's why journaling is so good, because you can actually, say if you journal for 1 week or 2 weeks, you can actually go back and look at patterns within each day of how you act to certain situations. So journaling for that is really, really good. The next strategy is self-reflection. Set aside some time to think about your goals, your values, and where you want to be. Sometimes because it's so busy, we're working, we've got children, we find it hard sometimes to sit down and just reflect. But sometimes you have to stop and ask yourself some really hard questions like, what do I actually want in life? And what are my non-negotiables in relationships? Ask yourself these questions and see what you come up with. And the next strategy is to seek feedback. Seek feedback from friends, trusted friends that is, as well as family members and mentors. I've got a tight network, and there's only a certain amount of people that I know I can trust to actually really, really, really dig deep and speak to on a level and let them know certain things about myself. Who is that for you? When you speak to these people, ask them for their honest feedback. Don't be scared for negative feedback, because negative feedback is what's going to help you to move to the next level and the next stage in your life. If you're scared of negative feedback, then you're not ready to move on or move forward. What you need to remember when you're doing this is that your goal is to become a better person. It's not about changing who you are, but to get a well-rounded perspective of yourself. But here's a game changer. Once you gain that self-awareness, own it. Own it. Be confident in who you are, and don't be afraid to set boundaries and make your needs and wants known. And what you need to remember is that being a high value woman doesn't mean that you're perfect. We all have flaws. We are all human. So imperfection is normal. Remember, the high value woman is real. She's authentic, as she knows exactly who she is. By practicing self-awareness, you're laying the foundations for the other values and habits that we're going to discuss. Because once you know yourself, you naturally command respect from others. So are you ready to become that high value woman? Because that was step 1. But now we're going to move into step 2, which is emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is something that I've had to learn for myself, because I feel that sometimes we as women can be very emotional beings. And the thing is, emotions are a catalogue of different things. You have angry, you have sad, you have happiness, you have so many different types of emotions. And that's what we need to remember. But if self-awareness is knowing yourself, Emotional intelligence is mastering yourself and understanding others. High value women are not just smart, they are emotionally smart. They can read the room, they can navigate tricky social situations and connect with people on a deeper level. Once you understand and practice emotional intelligence, it's like having a superpower in human interactions. So what exactly is emotional intelligence? 1 is understanding and managing your own emotions, and 2 is recognizing and empathizing with others' emotions. So now let's break down how you can develop this crucial habit. So first of all, you need to practice active listening. I know many of us, when we listen to people speaking, all we want to do is react and talk back. A lot of us listen to respond, but when you are emotionally intelligent, you listen to what people say, you use eye contact to let them know that you're listening, and you nod to make them know that you're fully engaged in what they're saying. And once they're finished, you ask thoughtful follow-up questions. This shows that you value other people's perspectives and it helps you to build deeper connections. Secondly, you have to cultivate empathy. And empathy is when you can put yourself in other people's shoes and understand it from their perspective. Ask yourself, how would I feel in this situation? And that is a skill that I believe is needed to navigate through life. And the thing is, it doesn't mean that you have to agree with everybody, but sometimes you just need to understand where they are coming from, because this can lead to meaningful interaction. When people can see that you are genuinely trying to understand where they're coming from and understand them, it kind of pulls them closer in. It makes them feel like, yeah, like she understands me. She's trying to see it from my point of view, even if they don't agree, but you're actually giving them the chance to express themselves and empathizing with them. Thirdly, learn to handle challenging situations with grace. You don't always have to fly off the handle. You don't. I know sometimes you want to and you feel like you need to and your blood is boiling, but sometimes you have to just be graceful about the situation. When tension rises, sometimes you just need to stop, take a deep breath, count to 10 and pause before reacting. Sometimes that is the best reaction. The thing what you need to do is respond rather than react. A high value woman stays composed under pressure. That is the key. And that alone naturally commands respect. Have you ever been in a situation where someone is like flying off the handle, they're saying all sorts of bad words to you, and you can just sit back and be like, okay then, I understand. You know, even just be silent and just listen. And then once they're finished, you kind of responding, okay, you know, your view has been taken into consideration. Usually that just stops people in their tracks because you're not giving them no ammunition and you are just showing that you've got composure, you're calm. So who are they going to argue with? There's no back and forth because you've kept it just calm, and that is what you call emotional intelligence. So here's a tip. Next time you're in a disagreement, instead of trying to win the argument, aim to understand the other person's point of view. You'll be surprised by how often this leads to better outcomes. Try it and let me know. Put your comment in the comment box below if you do it. Whenever it is, but come back to this video and let me know how it went. And remember, emotional intelligence is not about suppressing your emotions. It's about understanding them and expressing them appropriately and using them to navigate social situations effectively. By developing your emotional intelligence, you're not only gaining respect, but you're building healthier and more fulfilling relationships in all areas of your life. So, practice emotional intelligence, practice some of the steps that I mentioned and see how it goes, because having emotional intelligence is a game changer. So moving on to the next habit of being a high value woman, which is financial independence. High value women know that true freedom lies in being financially independent. You don't want to be relying on anybody or having to be in a situation because you rely on them financially. That's the first thing I've got to say. Empowerment comes from taking control of your finances. And the thing is, financial independence isn't just about having money, but it's also about having options. It's about never having to compromise your worth or stay in a situation that doesn't serve you. Because I've been there a little bit where I was in a situation and the guy that I was with was wealthy. And it's like, at the beginning, I just thought, yeah, he wanted to look after me. You know, he'd do all these nice things for me, give me money, buy me stuff. And being the age that I am, just thinking, you know what, I've been working all this time. I just want to just kick back. Let me just be a lady of leisure And I didn't realise that that was his way of controlling me, because what he used to do is he'd give me money when he wanted to, and then he'd withdraw as well. So there's be times when I needed money, he wouldn't give it to me, and then because I wasn't working, I had no other means of getting money. So I stayed in that situation because I was thinking, if I leave him, I've literally got nothing. But I came out of it. I didn't stay in it for too long. That is an example of having to stay with somebody because you don't have the financial means to carry yourself. So what I'm going to talk about now is how you can build this crucial habit. So let's break it down. So first of all, you got to create a budget. And I know creating budgets is not sexy. It's not the sexiest thing out there to do, but it has to be done. Budgeting is knowing exactly where your money is going and having the power to direct it to where you want. Start by tracking your expenses from month to month. And you might be surprised what you discover, because sometimes we just spend on things that we don't even need to be spending on. I've had times where I've had subscriptions for apps and stuff coming out my account. I'm just like, what the hell is this? And it's not a lot of money, but every penny counts, as they say. And secondly, make saving a non-negotiable, just like your gas bill or your electric bill or your car insurance. It's a non-negotiable. Make saving just as important. Look at saving like a bill, like you've got no choice but to pay it. Every single month, no excuses. And remember, you're not saving for a rainy day, you're saving for your freedom. Thirdly, educate yourself on the stock market. That is something that I've been trying to do, and recently I haven't been on it as much as I should. But the stock market is not just for those working at Wall Street or in Canary Wharf in London. It's for all of us. We all can do it, and we can all gain from it. Take time to learn about different types of investments, whether it's Forex, day trading, crypto, stocks and shares, commodities. There's so many different types of trading out there, or investing. Learn about it and just start off little, and then once you get to know it, you can do more and more. But investing is something that we all should be doing. Trust me, start small and your future will definitely thank you. And number 4, invest in your personal growth. Whether it's investing in your career, starting up a side hustle, invest in yourself. Say if you're an office assistant but you want to be an office manager, then invest in a managerial course so that then when the next manager's role comes up, you can go for it. So invest in yourself. And a good thing to do is to set financial goals. Where do you want to be in 5 years' time? Where do you want to be in 10 years' time financially? Having a clear vision will motivate you to stay on track, and that has been my problem at times. It's like sometimes I'm so on it, setting my goals, reading them every single day, writing them down every single day, doing affirmations, and then I just fall off. And I'm like, Naomi, this has to stop, because I know where I want to be, but you have to be strict with yourselves. Set those financial goals and stick to it. By prioritising your financial goals, you are securing your future. You're building confidence, you're expanding your choices, and ensuring that you never have to settle for less than you deserve. Financial freedom should be the goal from everybody, because when you have financial freedom, you have a number of choices. You don't have to do something for doing its sake. You don't have to do something just because you have no other choice or you don't have the resources. So ladies, your journey to financial independence starts today. If you want to be a high value woman, this is a fundamental. So let's move on to habit number 4, which is healthy boundaries. Ladies, this habit is a game changer, because high value women set boundaries and they maintain boundaries. No one is able to knock our boundaries down, because we know our worth and we know our value. It's important to have boundaries, and it's absolutely essential. See boundaries as your personal force field. They protect your time, they protect your energy, as well as your emotional well-being. Without them, you're vulnerable to burnout, resentment, and people who don't have your best interests at heart. So how do you cultivate this crucial habit, I hear you asking? Let's break it down. So first of all, you need to become crystal clear on what behaviours are acceptable to you and what isn't. Because people out there will push your boundaries to the core, and if you don't know what your limits are, they will just knock you down every single time. They just roll over you. That's how people are. So you have to set your boundaries. So what you need to think about is, what's your non-negotiables in your relationships, in your life and at work. They're the three main things: relationships, your work life, and your just general life. So knowing this is your first step to setting effective boundaries. And secondly is communicate your boundaries clearly. No hinting, no beating around the bush. Just be straight up. I'm good at this because I'm quite blunt anyway as a person. So there's no beating around the bush for me. I'm just telling you how it is. You can be direct and also be respectful. Because remember, we are women of high value, so we have to be respectful when we're doing this. And remember, you're not asking for permission, you know. You are stating your needs. And thirdly, and this is crucial, enforce your boundaries consistently. If somebody is constantly pushing your boundaries, then there has to be consequences, because if you don't, then they're going to continue to push them, and then your boundaries, it's not even a boundary anymore. You have to ensure that if somebody is constantly pushing your boundaries, then there has to be consequences. That could be that you end the relationship. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, then you have to follow through with the consequences. But here's where many women struggle. Many women struggle with saying no, but they forget and don't realise that no is a whole sentence. There doesn't have to be any explanation after you say no. No is a complete word. That's it. No. That's all you have to say. But a lot of women struggle with it. You don't always need to explain yourself or justify your actions. You don't. Practice saying no to things that don't align to your goals or your values. And don't feel guilty. And let me tell you, it gets easier. I'm telling you, because I've had to practice that with my mum. My mum would push my boundaries all the time and think like, yeah, I have respect for you because you're my mum, but at the same time, I've still got my own boundaries, and you can't always push them. And if you do push them, there will be consequences. Not even that consequences, but yeah, consequences, whereas I will stop talking to you until you understand that that's my boundary and you've pushed it and I didn't like it. And then hopefully she learns from that. So here's a tip. What you need to do is start small. Maybe it could just be declining an event invitation, something as simple as that. Or even asking a friend not to call you after a certain time. That is setting a boundary. As you get comfortable with it, you can tackle bigger boundary issues. And remember, setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's just about self-respect, really, and respecting yourself and letting others know that they have to respect you too. By prioritising your own needs, you are showing people how to respect you, as well as teaching people how to treat you. And the thing is, when you have strong, healthy boundaries, you usually have more time and energy to give to people. Because you're not giving out your time and your energy sparingly to anybody that asks for it. You are now prioritising your time. So when people do ask for it and it's within your boundary, you can say yes and you can spend the time that you need to with them. So setting boundaries isn't a bad thing. Sometimes it actually gives you more time to spend it with the people that you actually care about and you want to spend your time with. So ladies, start setting your boundaries and thank me later. So now let's move on to the fifth habit of being a high value woman, which is having ambition and drive. There is nothing more high value than being a woman with ambition and drive who goes for what she wants in life. High value women are not just dreamers, they are doers. They have ambition that burns bright, and their drive means that they will never quit. And the thing is, this isn't about competing with others or chasing somebody else's definition of success. It's about continuously pushing yourself to grow and never giving up on your hopes and dreams, as well as becoming the best version of you. So let's talk about how you cultivate this powerful habit. First of all, you have to set meaningful goals. You have to know what you want, where you're going, and how you're going to go about getting it. What do you want to achieve as a career? What do you want to be? Where do you want to be in 5 years' time? What do you want to achieve in your relationships and your personal growth? Those are all questions that you need to be asking yourself. Be specific. Instead of just saying, oh, I want to be successful, define what success means to you and what it looks like. And secondly, create a plan. Break down your big goals into actionable, smaller steps. This turns your dreams from distant mirages to achievable milestones. And thirdly, take consistent action. Without action, you won't get anywhere, so you have to do something. You have to be doing something to achieve these goals. Not going to drop in your lap. You have to be out there taking action. Ambition without action is wishful thinking. Never forget that. So you have to get moving. What you need to do is make progress on your goals every day, even if it's small little steps. Because even those small little steps mean that you're getting closer to your end goal. And fourthly, embrace challenges. See obstacles as opportunities to grow. And remember, diamonds are formed under pressure. And here's a tip, and this is something that I'm trying to do myself, and it is surround yourself with ambitious people. Their drive will fuel yours. Find mentors, join networking groups, or even set up your own mastermind group of like-minded individuals. And that's something that I've been thinking about, setting up a mastermind group. I used to be a part of one before, and it really helped me to reach new heights in the business that I was doing at the time. So having a mastermind group, people that you can be accountable to, will really help to push you to that next level in your career. And what I want to address now is one common misconception, and that is, if you are going for what you want, or you are an ambitious person, then you have to sacrifice your whole life and that's all you can do. And that's so far from the truth. You can still live a fulfilling life whilst following your dreams. You don't have to burn out. You don't have to sacrifice your sleep to be ambitious. It's about pursuing your goals with passion whilst taking care of yourself. And remember, your ambition is not just about you. When you are going for your goals and people can see it, it drives other people as well. People around you will be inspired by your drive, and you will naturally become a beacon of what is possible. So make sure you keep going for what you want. High value women are ambitious and driven. I've always been ambitious, and I've tried so many different businesses and I've remained driven, and it makes me feel so fulfilled when I'm following my dreams. I've had jobs which I've been so grateful for. I've worked for organisations, and there's nothing more fulfilling than pursuing your own dreams and goals. There's nothing more fulfilling, and it's such a nice feeling. And at times it can be so draining, but when you reach that finish line, or you accomplish what you've been going for, or what you've been working towards for a while, it's such a nice feeling. And yeah, I just love that feeling. And I just believe that we all should just keep going for what we want in life. Never give up. Follow your dreams until they become a reality. So your journey to becoming a high value woman includes setting goals and going for what you want. Set those goals that seem so far out of reach, but go for them anyway, because you know that you will reach them with persistence and consistency. It's time to dream big, roll up your sleeves and make it happen. So let's move on to the next habit to being a high value woman, and that is self-care. Self-care is something that is often overlooked, but we are going to be discussing it today, because if you want to be a high value woman, self-care has to be part of your daily regime. Self-care is like oxygen for the soul. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's about filling your cup first so you have something to pour into other people's cups. So now I'm going to go into how to make self-care a non-negotiable habit. So first of all, you have to prioritise your physical health, whether that's going to the gym, eating healthy, making sure you keep hydrated, and even getting enough sleep. What you need to remember is that your body is your temple, so treat it with respect. Secondly, you need to nurture your mental health. Mental health is such a big thing. Like, if your mental health isn't good, then how can you be a woman of value? How can you fulfill your dreams? How can you practice financial independence? It's hard if your mental health isn't intact. So you need to focus on your mental health. Practice mindfulness, meditation, and read books that stimulate your mind. One other thing, ladies, is that we should be taking breaks when needed. We're not robots, we're not machines. We need to take breaks. We can't be plugged into the wall and then reboot our battery. We're not like that. We are human beings, so we need to take time. When we feel drained or we feel like we're lacking energy, we need to just take time out. Whether it's have a nap, whether it's take a day off, do what we need to do for our mental health. Thirdly, you need to tend to your emotional well-being. Engage in activities that bring you joy. Spend time with people that uplift you. And also process your emotions in a healthy way. And that's a big one, because a lot of us don't know how to process emotions, so sometimes we might lash out. Process your emotions in a healthy way, whether it's have a therapist or having a heart-to-heart with a close friend. These are ways that you can process emotions that you don't know what to do with, because a lot of the times we can have emotions or be feeling a certain way and we don't know what to do about it, and this can lead to us doing silly things, and we don't want that. So if you are feeling emotionally drained in any way, then speak to somebody, whether it's a friend, a mentor, or a therapist. And number 4 is pursue your passions. Do what you enjoy. The other day I went roller skating. I hadn't roller skated for years, from since I was about 15 years old, but it was so nice and I enjoyed it so much, and it just took me away from work and being so serious and all that stuff. It just made me feel like I was a youth again, and I really, really enjoyed it. So sometimes we have to take time out to do things that we like, whether it's go to the cinema, spend time with friends, go out to eat, have an activity such as roller skating, ice skating, rock climbing, whatever it is. Indulge in hobbies. When I do things that I enjoy, it feels like my spirit is being refueled, and then I'm ready to go again. I'm like, yep, had my fun, it's time to get back to work. But because I've had that bit of fun, I just feel so light, and that's what we need to do. So make sure you are taking part in activities that you enjoy and taking time out. So a tip is to schedule out self-care. If you're a person where you know that, once you start one task, you finish that, you're on to another one, and then you're on to another one, and you've got children, you've got a husband, then what you need to do is block out a time in your diary, whether it's monthly, whether it's weekly. Well, no, it can't be monthly. It should be at least, I say once a fortnight at the minimum, where you do something for yourself. We all need to do that. So make sure you take care of yourself, because that is self-care. And one thing about self-care, what I want to talk about, and it's a myth, self-care is about indulging in bubble baths, going to the spa. That is not the only thing that's self-care. Having a therapist is self-care. Reading is self-care. Going on holiday is self-care. Even having a difficult conversation that you've been avoiding is self-care, because you're getting it off your chest. So make self-care be your own personal thing. Whatever you want it to be, it can be that, So it doesn't just fit into one little box of doing your nails, having a bubble bath, and indulging in a facial. That is not the only thing that is self-care. So from today, I want you to make self-care a non-negotiable, okay? From today, self-care is a non-negotiable. So next habit we have is selective dating. And this is a habit that high-value women really need to take seriously. Even myself, because you have to be selective when you're dating. So let's get into it. Being choosy about who you let into your life is a must. You have to be picky, ladies. You have to be picky. High-value women understand that their time and energy is very, very precious. Very precious. And we can't be just letting any and anybody up into our space. So what I want you to do is think about your love life as a garden. You wouldn't plant any and anything in your garden, would you? You wouldn't do that. You'd be careful about the type of plants that thrive within that environment, as well as what they're going to look like once they've bloomed and blossomed, because you want them to bring beauty to your space. So what I'm trying to say is that the same principle should apply for dating. So here you're asking, how do we cultivate the habit of selective dating? Well, I'm about to tell you. Let's break it down. So first of all, you have to know your worth. What you need to understand is that you deserve a partner that is going to bring value to your life, and not someone that just drains you. So this means having high standards and sticking to them. And secondly is to define your non-negotiables. What qualities must a partner have? What behaviours won't you tolerate? Be clear about this with yourself as well as your potential partner. And this is something that I've had to think about myself, because I class myself as a high value woman. I am a high value woman, and for some reason, I don't know, they say you are what you attract, but then I think to myself, some of the guys that be approaching me, I'm just like, what about me makes you feel like, that, I know it sounds bad, but I think, why have you approached me? Why have you had the guts to approach me? You look like that, and I feel so bad for saying it, but you look like that, I look like this. So what makes you think? And it's just, I don't know. And I've had to be really sometimes I could be really soft and think, let me just give him a chance. Let me see what he's like. Oh, he's a nice person. But then other things in their life is just not, the maths is not mathing. And I'm like, it has to stop. And we have to realise as women that we don't owe anybody anything. We do not owe anybody anything, and we should have boundaries, just like we spoke about before. So if the maths not mathing, then, it's a no-go. Don't feel bad. You need to know what is and isn't for you. Are they adding value? If not, then it's a no-go. Thirdly, another thing that us women need to learn, and the thing is, I know that most of us know, but we just choose to ignore, and what I want to say is red flags. We need to learn to identify a red flag when we see one. And most of the times we see these red flags from the beginning, but we're like, oh, maybe it's not a red flag, maybe it's not, let me see what it's like. And then another red flag, and we're like, nah, that's probably not a red flag. Maybe I'm just seeing things. You are seeing clearly. God gave us discernment. He gave us intuition. So we need to learn to follow through and see the red flags and be like, no, no. Remember what I said about boundaries? No is a complete sentence. That's all you have to say. What we need to learn to do is trust our instincts. Trust that gut feeling. If something feels off, it probably is. Do not ignore those gut feelings. Please, ladies, don't, because I see too many women, high value women, who are going about the damn thing, who are doing their thing, who are reaching new heights, who are climbing the ladders to success, and they let these men into their life that shouldn't be there, and they come and they just mess everything up. Like, it's like their whole life just goes downhill just based on this one man. We live in a world where there's over 8 billion people. There's probably about 4 billion men in on this earth. We've got how many countries in the world? There are men everywhere. That one walking red flag that you're talking to is not the end all or be all of men. There's so many men out there. There's so many countries. There's so many cities where there's beautiful, decent men. So when you see them red flags, say goodbye. Learn to say goodbye. Learn to walk away. Because a lot of the times we end up regretting staying. We do end up regretting it. And we need to stop. So number 4, which I've already kind of touched on, which is knowing when to walk away. This is crucial. Be willing to walk away from toxic relationships. Toxicity is a no-no in 2024, going into 2025, and for the rest of time. It's a no-no. We need to walk away from situations that don't serve us, from partners that don't meet our standards. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Remember, it's better to be single than to settle. It is better to be single than to settle, because you could be single, be in your own space, doing your own thing, enjoying life, and that one man could be in your life causing you so much stress, and we don't need it when we're trying to elevate and be ambitious and be financially independent and be a woman of high value. We ain't got time. We don't have that time. Time is precious, ladies. So here's a tip. Focus on building the life that you love without a partner. Focus on building a life that you love as a single woman. When you're fulfilled on your own, you're less likely to fall or to take or to be with somebody that is undeserving. You will less likely be with somebody that brings nothing to the table or adds no value to your life. So be happy and build on your own. And once you've done that, if you're with somebody at the time, then still build on your own. Do what you got to do with or without a partner. Remember, your happiness and your well-being should always be your top priority. And any high-value woman knows that a relationship should enhance her life and not complete it. So after that, you should be ready to be very selective in your dating life and raise those standards. So let's move on to habit number 8, which is being authentic, authenticity. So authenticity, this is where it all comes together, because high value women knows that their true power lies in being unapologetically themselves. However, authenticity isn't just about being yourself. It's about having the courage to let your genuine self shine when it's uncomfortable or even unpopular. So how do we cultivate this powerful habit of authenticity? Because we live in a world where authenticity has kind of gone out the window. You don't see that many people are authentic anymore, or people are scared to be authentic, because I feel like social media has put out, like, it's almost put out something where it's basically, it's like a checklist of how you should look, how you should act, what you should think, what you should say. It's like really hard to be authentic nowadays in this day and age. And to be authentic is to be brave in a way, because authenticity has actually gone out the window. So how do we go about being authentic in 2024 and beyond? Firstly, get to know yourself deeply. Understand who you are. What are your core values? What lights you up? What are your quirks? What are your imperfections? And embrace all of it. None of us are perfect. All of us have our own values, look different, we all have our imperfections, but that's us, so we have to accept it. We have to accept our authentic self. We have no choice. We are with ourselves 24/7. So get to understand yourself on a deeper level. Secondly, practice expressing your genuine thoughts and feelings. Start small if you want to, but try and share an unpopular opinion or a vulnerable truth with someone who you are close with, who you trust. I feel like living in the world that we live in, it's like societal norms have moulded their own kind of, what could you call it, like avatars of how everybody should be. There's like probably about 5 or 6 different avatars, and you have to fit into that way. And if you don't, if you say something against the grain, if you look a bit different, it's not allowed. So people are now scared to have opinions, to be vulnerable, because what might that person think of me if I say something that they don't agree with? But you have to be authentically you. That's you, that's your thoughts. You think it for a reason, and nobody has the right to kind of penalise you for your opinions, even though we live in a world that does that. But do it with somebody that you trust, like I says, because sometimes it just needs to be released. And it's nicer to be able to be yourself and express yourself the way that you want to. Thirdly, let go of the need to get approval from others. And this is a big one for me, because I'm not that person. I don't really care what people say. And I think that's what's got me to where I am. That's why I travel so much. That's why I just do what I want to do. I don't try and fit into social norms because, I should have 3 children, a husband, a £200,000 house, a mortgage, a car. Like, no, I do what I want for myself, and that's what a lot of people need to learn to do. Be you, do things the way that you want to do it. You don't need approval from anybody. It's your life. Remember, you're not for everyone. You are not going to be for everybody. Everybody is not going to like you. You are not everybody's person, but you are your own person. Your tribe will find you when you are being your authentic self. And I was speaking to a friend about this on the phone the other day. She was saying that she was in a WhatsApp group, and it was a mix of people that she knew and she didn't know. And she realised that the people in the group that she didn't know, once trying to get to know them outside the group, she realised that there wasn't her people, they didn't get on. And then we went back to how we met. We met at a networking event, and obviously there was something about her that I liked, there was something about me that she liked, and we became friends because she seen my authentic self, I seen her authentic self, and I realised that there was something in her that was familiar to me, and there was something in me that was familiar to her, and that she liked and what I liked. So that's your tribe. When you can meet people who know you, who see you for your authentic self, they see you at your most vulnerable, your most authentic, and they want to be around you, they want to know you, they want to be your friend, and that is your tribe. So a lot of the times that a friend of a friend can also be our tribe as well. Want to get to know each other. So once you are yourself and act like yourself and be yourself, then you will naturally attract your tribe. And number 4 is align your actions with your values. Walk your talk. There is immense power in living in integrity with who you truly are. There is no better feeling than just being who you are, being unapologetically you. There is no greater feeling. Think about like times where, especially when you're at school, when you are being told how to act, what to wear, what to enjoy. Like you're probably in school, you probably don't like any of the subjects. You don't want to wear the uniform. You don't want to eat the food, but you've actually got no choice. The dinner menu is just whatever they think that kids should eat. The uniform is basically what they think you should wear. The curriculum is basically what they believe you should learn. Like, you're not able to walk your walk. You have to to what they believe you should be. And that's so uncomfortable for many kids. But a lot of them just don't have any choice. Well, most of them don't have a choice. But it's so nice to be able to live in your integrity and to walk your own walk. And women are valued do that. So you need to learn. So here's a tip. Next time you're in a situation where you're tempted to put on a mask, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what would I do or say if I wasn't afraid of judgment? And then do exactly that. Say what you want to say. Say what you want to say. That's all I've got to say on that one. And let's address a common fear. Some people might think that being authentic would drive people away, but let me tell you this, being authentic will draw the people to you that needs to be there and repel the people that shouldn't be there. And it also builds deeper connections as well as genuine connections. Remember, your authenticity is your superpower, and it also boosts your self-worth because you're no longer expending energy trying to be someone that you're not. And it also attracts opportunities that align with your true self. And it also inspires other people to be their authentic self. So are you ready to drop those masks and let your true self shine? I hope you are, because it's time right now. You are becoming the woman of high value. You are becoming a high value woman. And this is one of the things that you have to do. So there you have it, the 8 habits of a high value woman. From self-awareness to authenticity. Each of these habits builds on the others. Create a life of true worth and fulfillment. And remember, being a high value woman is not about perfection. It's about continuous growth, self-respect, and living life on your terms. So which of these habits will you start cultivating today? Let me know and put a comment in the comments box below. And I thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your auntie, your sister, your cousin, your mum, your grandmother, your best friend and your niece. Tell every like-minded woman that you know. Bye for now.